I'm life and business coach Samantha Sifring, and this is the Online Business Building Mamas podcast, where you learn how to build a wildly successful business from home while raising kids. Welcome to another episode of the Badass Mother podcast. I am so glad you have decided to join me here today. And I just want to drop in a quick little plug for those of you who love this podcast and are super fans and listen every week and feel like you've really gained something from it. If you listen on Apple Podcasts and have not yet left a rating or review, I would appreciate it so much if you would go into the app, click on the Badass Mother podcast, scroll down past all the episodes down to ratings and reviews, and then you can tap the stars to rate, hopefully 5 stars, and then click that write a review line with a little pencil. It's super easy. You can just write a quick little review and title. The title can just be a couple of words from the review. It doesn't have to be complicated, and then submit it. I would appreciate it so much. It really does help other people to find the podcast, and it makes me feel like somebody is listening and loving what I am doing over here. So please consider doing that. Let's talk about believing in yourself. So this is something that I say I probably work on with every single one of my clients, no matter if they are just starting out and figuring out their first business idea and starting to build it, all the way to my clients who will be making multiple 5-figure months. It really affects all of us, this self-belief idea and this idea of playing small. So if you've been in the online business space at all, you have probably heard this idea of playing small. A lot of people talk about it. To me, playing small is really just putting off what you really want, your big goals and dreams, to stay comfortable. Sometimes that looks like trying to control other people, like help them stay comfortable and happy, but it's all to keep ourselves comfortable, really, and it puts the big vision of who we might be and who we want to be to the side to stay in that comfort zone. This can show up in so many ways. I was talking to a friend the other day, and she had noticed that she was going down the aisle in the grocery store, and there was a lady blocking the aisle with her cart. And for a second, my friend was like holding back from saying, "Excuse me," and just like waiting there. And I could relate to that story so much. I feel like we've all been there, where somebody's blocking the aisle and you have the chance to say, "Excuse me," and you would just rather wait and not inconvenience anyone else, or, make them feel like you were inconvenienced, even though you totally were. It wasn't a big deal. It's not a big deal for anybody, but you can say, "Excuse me," and move on, and it really doesn't disturb anyone at all, and it honors you. This isn't necessarily about our big goals and dreams, right? It's about moving on down the aisle. It's about valuing yourself as much as you value this random stranger. This can also look like stagnating and stalling in your business because you aren't setting bigger goals and you're settling at your current income level. Sometimes that current income level is like $0 or just a couple $100 because you're too afraid to put yourself out there and become visible and make offers. These are all different ways that we can be playing small, and I'm sure you can think of a bunch too. We are all guilty of doing this at some level or another. Now, let me be clear. This isn't about what other people may define as success. This is about your goals, your desires, and these are about the true ones. So this is like when you're feeling your best, when you're feeling your most confident and capable and amazing, and you're feeling all of the possibility, not when you're in fear and selling yourself short. I use the word success a lot. I know a lot of you have baggage with the word success, or it brings to mind a certain image that maybe you don't agree with or whatever. I always use the word success as you reaching a goal you have set for your own self that's important to you, not anything else. It's not about Lamborghinis or private jets or being on the beach in Bali or, being a multimillionaire, whatever. It's not about any of that. Success is about reaching the goals you have set for yourself that are meaningful for you. So I just want you to know, going forward or going backwards, listening to any of my other podcast episodes, that's what success means to me when I am talking to you and when I am talking to my clients. So, where does this playing small come from? I think it often is coming from a lack of belief that you can actually achieve the thing that you want to achieve. Sometimes we don't believe that it's possible at all in general, but most of the time we believe that it's possible in general for someone else, just not for ourselves. So we believe making $100,000 a year in a business is possible for someone. Like we see it out there, other people are doing it, but it's not possible for us. I felt that for a long time, and I would play small by saying, oh, I don't really want to make six figures. I don't want to make multiple six figures. Like I would be super happy to just make $50,000 a year. That's all I want. That'd be so amazing. And now I look back and I'm like, well, that's crazy. Obviously, I want to make multiple six figures in my business. Like now that I have the perspective of where I am, I don't want to settle for that. I want to drive for more. I want to go bigger. And what's really funny is now where this is showing up, I mentioned maybe a couple months ago that I just joined a mastermind. And part of the process of joining this mastermind was applying and then getting your application accepted, and then a Zoom call with everybody whose application had been accepted. And she could only take about a quarter of us into the group from who had applied. So you had to sell to her why you should be chosen. And when I had to do that in front of everyone else, by the way, which was terrifying, one of the things that came up was that I think $1 million is for other people. $1 million isn't for me. Multiple six figures is totally fine. 500,000, yes, that's for me. That's where I'm going. That's my trajectory over the next few years. $1 million, that's for somebody else in the mastermind. And she totally called me on it. And now I have really been working on that quite a bit, even though, of course, $1 million feels so far away to me. It's been a really good thing to pay attention to and see this is an area where I am playing small. And I'm somebody who just loves challenging myself and growing. So yeah, of course I want to keep growing. It's not like there's something evil about continuing to grow. Why would I not, right? I love being on that edge of my personal growth and just seeing how far can I go? Where are my limits? So why would I just set this arbitrary limit for myself? So anyway, that is really indicating that we have this lack of belief that it's possible for someone else, it's for someone else, but it's not for us. So let's take this a little bit further. Let's talk about how to tackle that, because a lack of belief in yourself and in the possibility of your goals will prevent you from reaching them and cause a lot of needless struggle. So what are beliefs? Beliefs are thoughts that we have thought so many times they became habit, and then our brain sees them as truth. We don't even notice them as thoughts or as optional anymore. We sometimes don't even notice that we're thinking them. They become deeply woven into who we are. They become a part of who we are because we've thought them so many times. They're just habit thoughts. The first step in shifting those is actually to become aware of what they even are. So a lot of times we don't know. A lot of times I uncover this in a consult call with somebody, with a potential client. We uncover a lot of beliefs that they have that are holding them back. This work is best done with a coach because it's really difficult to see outside of your own perspective, and our friends aren't trained to sit outside of our story and question it all, and even our friends who are coaches are not going to spend friend time coaching us. I am very clear in my own mind with my friends when we are talking. When I have my friend hat on, I am not wearing my coaching hat. And sometimes I'll catch myself wanting to ask like a probing question or something. And I really try not to. I try not to do any coaching with somebody who hasn't specifically asked me to coach them. And that's on a consult call or if they are a client in some way. So my personal boundary between coach time and friend time is very strong. And I am a coach. So all the more reason to not try to get coaching from your friend who is not a coach. Because I think friends should be able to hear our stories and totally believe them and jump into them with us and support us in that way and not have to be challenging us, because a coach can really piss you off sometimes, for sure. Journaling can also help you to start gaining awareness of what's going on. But eventually you are going to hit a point where you accidentally accept something as true that's holding you back. This happens to me all the time. I will journal, I will self-coach, I will show it to my coach, and she will immediately point out something that's wrong with it that I didn't see because I didn't have that removed view of it. I was in the middle of it trying to see the outside of it. Also, going this way, self-coaching only, doing a DIY type approach is very slow. And I don't know about you, I like to move fast. I like to grow fast. I am the kind of person who, when I decide I'm going to do something, I want it done then, like right then and there. Like I don't really want to plan. I don't really want to wait. I want to do it right then and there. So what's weird is that I did try to self-coach and do this DIY thing for a long time. I would do like books and podcasts and journaling and courses, all of this kind of thing. And when I finally decided I was going to stop doing that and I was really going to commit and get a coach, things took off for me personally and in my business like crazy. So I highly recommend, if you want to make some significant shifts, if you want to dive into this work, working with a coach is a really powerful way to do that. So step 1 was getting awareness of what you even believe and deciding which of those beliefs are not serving you. We don't have to throw out everything we believe, but we want to question it. We want to see what's serving us, what's not, what's helping us get to our goals, what's not helping us get to our goals. Once we know that, we need to have a really clear vision of where we're going. So what do you want to believe instead? Do you want to believe that $100,000 in a year is possible for you? Do you want to believe that $1 million is possible for you? You get to decide. But I absolutely love choosing an income goal when it comes to our businesses simply because it makes us really, really uncomfortable. Like I told you, the $1 million thing, like saying that out loud, saying that on my podcast, I'm like, ooh, that doesn't feel good. And I love that because it really shows me this is where I can grow. I'm uncomfortable, great, that's where I can grow. It's also really tangible and measurable in a way that most other goals are not. So highly recommend an income goal if you're thinking about what you want to believe as it pertains to your business. From there, you can build your house. I have really leaned into this analogy of the house, and I've been using it with myself in my own work, and I've been using it with a lot of my clients because it's really fun to imagine being inside a house of I make $1 million a year, or I am a 6-figure business owner, and then letting all of the other thoughts flow into it. I think it helps me to really understand this idea of living in our new beliefs. This is something my coach says a lot, and other ladies in the program I'm in say a lot, like live in the new beliefs. And for some reason, that was kind of hard for me to grasp until I visualized this house. I then was like, oh my gosh, I'm inside a house. Like it almost felt like there was boundaries around it to kind of help me stay in, and like it was protective. So I have really been loving this visual of the house, and my clients have been telling me how they're using it and how they're like really elaborately visualizing this house and which house it is and how now they actually want to live in that house in real life. And I think it's just so fun and really powerful. So you've got your house. The overall house is, for me, I make $1 million a year. For you, it can be whatever that goal is that you have. Then you can think, what are the other thoughts that I need to build this belief? I personally always start with it is possible. Anytime I'm trying to believe something, sometimes I'll do like, what do I need to believe to sign a client this week? What do I need to believe to make money today? I think these are such fun journal exercises. I give these to my clients all the time. And I think the first one for everyone is always, it's possible. If I'm going to sign a client this week, I first have to believe it's possible to sign a client this week. If I'm going to make money today, I first have to believe it's possible to make money today. Some other thoughts that I love when I'm building up a belief: people want what I offer. I'm a powerful and kick-ass coach. I'm so worth the money. I bring so much value. I'm here to serve. My next clients are watching me. My clients love working with me. I know what I'm doing. This is working. My thoughts create my results. I think these are all so good for so many different reasons, but I think they just bring a really high vibe feeling to my work with my current clients and how I am showing up in my business and in my marketing in a bigger way. You really have to intentionally spend time here mentally. And it feels really weird at first. So if you're hearing this and you're like, ooh, this is strange, you're not alone. I totally felt that way at first. And I've just decided to embrace it. It's okay to feel silly. It's okay to feel a little weird. And it's okay if some part of your brain is yelling, this isn't going to work. This is woo-woo weirdness. And the world does not operate magically like this. Whether the magic exists or not is not relevant at all. Here is why this works. All the results you get in life come from the things you do, the actions you take. I think this is something we all agree on and we all know is true. And it's one of the reasons your brain is like, this belief stuff is weird. But here's what it is discounting and not fully embracing. All of those actions come from feelings you have. And all the feelings you have come from the thoughts you think. So when you keep thinking your same old thoughts, you keep doing the same old things. And it's why you get inspired and motivated and then lose steam. Your habit thoughts have come back in and you didn't even realize it. So instead, you start beating yourself up for not being disciplined, not being focused, and telling yourself you'll never succeed. I'm telling you, Practicing new thoughts is everything. From there, you'll first of all be feeling great because it feels really good to tell yourself all of those things. And yes, it's totally okay for you to be thinking things that make you feel good and being in that space, even if you haven't created the results that you want yet. That's the whole point. If you're telling yourself those beliefs and you're not feeling great, they aren't the right beliefs. You have to tap into those thoughts that are going to make you feel amazing and really lean into being in that house. From there, you'll be taking inspired action. Taking inspired action on a consistent basis is what will make your success inevitable. And remember, success here is defined as you reaching your goal. So practicing new thoughts, feeling amazing, taking inspired action on a consistent basis, these are the things that will make your success inevitable. One more thing that you absolutely need in this process is to stop judging yourself. Stop comparing yourself to other people and where they are in the process. You are exactly where you should be right now. You're hearing this message at exactly the right time. From this moment forward, you can start shifting your beliefs little by little. When you catch yourself back in your habit thinking, a gentle redirect back into your house is all you need. We all forget to stay inside our house. It's totally normal. It really just means you are a human versus a robot. And what it also means is that once you've done this work, you know how it works. You know how to do it. You know how to use it. And no one can ever take that away from you. You're going to have earned it outright, and you'll be able to use this strength over and over to pursue and hit any goal you set for yourself, even the one that feels too crazy to say out loud right now. No matter how you were raised or what you heard or saw when you were a kid, no matter what has happened in your past or what you've done or thought in your past, you can believe what you want right now about yourself and about your future. Absolutely everything can change because of this process and what you're hearing right now. This process changed everything for me, and it continues to. Just a few years ago, I was making $1,000 a month consistently, and I thought it was amazing. I was playing small. I didn't believe anything else was possible for me. I believed if I went back to work, maybe I could make like $40,000. Truly. And everything changed by embracing this process. Now, I'm talking about multiple six figures. I'm talking about $1 million. I'm planning out so much more because I've been able to grow. I've been able to achieve new things. So much more has become possible for me now because of shifting this on a big scale, but also on a smaller scale. A couple months ago, I had a week where I decided I'm going to sign a client this week. It felt really scary to me to start believing this. My brain was freaking out. My brain was like, how do you know that's true? You can't control other people. Like all of these things that we tell ourselves that feel so compelling, so real, so legitimate. But I decided I'm just going to really believe that I'm going to sign a client this week, and I'm not going to worry about anything else. I'm not going to doubt it. I'm not going to think about how I can't control other people. None of that's relevant to me right now. I'm just going to focus on building this belief. I am going to sign a client this week. What happened? I took inspired action. I continued to show up in my emails, in my group, but I brought a different energy. Somebody joined my group. That person went through all of my posts that I had been doing. That person watched some of my videos. That person saw a call to action that I had done that day for a free call. They booked a call for that same week. They were totally pumped, totally all in. They said yes on the call. They signed up that same day. In that same week, I signed a client that week. I didn't control her. I didn't force somebody to be a client, but I worked on my belief, which influenced how I felt, which influenced, first of all, how I showed up, when I showed up, but also what I was doing. And that attracted her in. It made me magnetic to her. It made me appear open for business to her. It made me appear to have what she wanted. I showed all of that to her. And she knew, before we even got on the call, she knew that she wanted to work with me based on what she had already seen in just the day she had been in my Facebook group. Everything can change in an instant. This process matters so much. I really encourage you to listen to this episode as many times as you need to stay encouraged, to stay in your belief. You have to make the conscious choice to stay in your belief. I have clients who get on calls with me and they're like, well, I feel amazing right now. And it's because I help them be in their house during that session we have together. And when we're not in the session, the rest of that week, they have to remind themselves to stay in the house. And of course, they can reach out to me. I'm always available to help them hop back in the house. But it's a conscious choice you have to make. You have to believe that you're worthy. You have to believe you're capable. You have to believe it's possible. And you get in your house and you lean into that and you show up in that way. If you'd like some support in your transformation, in mastering this skill, in creating whatever you want, achieving whatever goal you set, I would love to be a part of that. It would be my honor. And it starts with a single call. We'll hop on Zoom together, see each other face to face. You'll tell me where you are right now in your business, in your beliefs, all of it. Then we'll talk about the belief house you want to build. We'll talk about your vision. We'll talk about setting a number. We'll talk about all of those scary and amazing things. And after that, I'm going to share with you the roadmap that I see that will get you from where you are right now to where you want to be. Both the beliefs and the actions that need to change. I have tools for all of it. Then we'll chat about what it would look like to walk that road together with me as your guide. If that sounds good to you, you can book your session now at bit.ly/callsamantha, bit.ly/callsamantha. I really look forward to chatting with some of you and making absolute magic together over the next few months. If you like this podcast, I want to invite you to coach with me over in my program, Mama to CEO. There's you, and there's the consistent income you want to make in your business, and I help you remove everything standing in between. It's lifetime access for mastering your marketing, sales, time, and everything else you need to have the business and life you really want. Whether it's making your first 1,000 or 100,000, I can help you do it. To join, go to mamatoceo.com, mamatoceo.com.